when I think of marketing automation, I think of, I do think of workflows and email, but you're making the point that, hey, it's not just that.
Yeah, you can really get as complicated or as simple as you want.
All right, welcome back to another episode of More Than Marketing. I'm your host, Arsha Mirsha. I'm joined today with none other than EJ White. He's a senior strategist here at WebMechanix. He works with Shlomo Trachtenberg, who's been on some episodes in the past. You guys work heavily together on both B2C and B2B clients. You guys do a ton of marketing automation, and that's a hot space, MarTech. The intersection of marketing and technology is marketing automation, right? So I want to talk about marketing automation today. I brought you in because I see you doing a lot with it, and finding some really cool results for clients.
Absolutely.
So I figured we talk about it, and we just find see if we can help our audience. I think that our audiences as directors of marketing, their VPs of marketing, CMOs, they want to know about marketing automation, EJ.
Sure.
So let me ask you, you work in primarily B2C, but also in B2B.
Sure.
Tell me, what you love about marketing automation.
Sure. So marketing automation is naturally a very broad area of marketing, but I find it to be one of the most fulfilling and kind of fun areas to be in right now.
Okay.
There's never been a time when technology is so accessible. The economies of scale have brought the price down that it's pretty much accessible to really anyone, no matter the size of your organization, B2B, B2C. Pretty much any organization that I've come across can benefit from marketing automation, whether it's...
there's so many providers out there, right? They all kind of cater to different ones like Infusionsoft, HubSpot, Marketo, those, Sharp Spring, to name a few.
We could have an entire episode of
I'm just naming them, right? An entire episode of just naming them. That's good.
And those are, you named a lot of the email marketing software, but even things like Privy or Opt-in Monster, those play an important part. Obviously Marketo is one of the bigger names that just got acquired by Adobe. But in all, it's a lot of fun. So I do a lot of work in the e-commerce space, as you know. And so we're using a lot of marketing automation in terms of user personalization. So in the e-commerce world, the transaction compared to the B2B world tends to be a lot shorter, and a lot more spontaneous. And so what we work really hard to do is really make that session or that experience as personal, as like one-to-one as possible. So we can do that with a lot of ways. One of them is, pricing. So figure out, user behaviors, and maybe not necessarily showing them, a custom price, but being able to give them coupons based on their behavior. You might not want to give everyone a coupon, but you can see that somebody's closer to conversion, and you can automate the way that they get, special pricing. Can help conversion rates.
Or give a special coupon or price based on their traffic source. If they came from an ad, and that ad said, so and so get 10% off or whatever, then you better give them 10% off. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's tons of tools. Privy is one of my favorites that does exactly that. You can have based on pretty much limitless different factors, have different messages and different types of pop-ups, hello bars, all kinds of stuff that are completely customized, and you can pass through stuff from UTM parameters like in an ad, so you can customize that experience. And a lot of times with that's great. With PPC, you're already paying to get a customer to your site. You really want to do everything you can to acquire them. Otherwise, that money is kind of lost. Whether it's acquiring their information or acquiring them from a customer off the bat.
And you actually said something very interesting. You said that because I did name a bunch of like the email marketing automation platforms, like definitely HubSpot and Infusionsoft. They definitely have that email component is central to their technology, right? But you also made the point that there's other marketing automation technologies out there that help you customize the experience for your visitors such that they, enjoy that experience more, such that they convert into a lead or a sale in the e-commerce space, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was really cool. Thank you for pointing that out, because
Totally.
when I think of marketing automation, I think of I do think of workflows and email, but you're making the point that, hey, it's not just that.
Yeah, you can really get as complicated or as simple as you want. That's what what I mean when I say any organization can really benefit, whether it's just simple email collection that's personalized based on traffic source, to just a simple hello bar, telling somebody about some sort of offer, to chatbots that interact with AI or kind of pseudo AI type abilities.
And that's huge nowadays. Now you hear a lot.
There's a wide range.
I see that kind of. If you want to talk bleeding edge of marketing automation, so to speak, or digital marketing, really, I see chatbots a lot. Do you want to talk on chatbots at all? What do you see them coming up? Do you see them being useful?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the coolest experiences I had recently was a group called the BAMF group, which is a marketing group that they're kind of on the cutting edge of growth marketing, and they had like this Bible of 100 some different techniques that I really wanted to look at. So they got me to their landing page from probably either a social post or a paid ad, and that landing page, the form collection wasn't actually a form; it was a button that sent me back to Facebook that gave permission to my messenger. And when I started interacting by messenger, their bot collected my email address and my name. And then they connected with me. They sent me the guide through email, and then followed up. Obviously, they completed their end of the bargain. But then they followed up by inviting me to be part of the community they had on Facebook. And then on the community on Facebook, they had a ton more content. They had a lot of interactive, type features.
All that stuff was automated, by the way, right?
It was all automated.
That entire flow, like you didn't once talk to a human, even though he was in Facebook Messenger. You didn't talk to a human in that. On the other end was a bot that's like, hey, I know you want this thing because you clicked on this ad or you took this action. I know what you want. Let me go through the steps of getting it to you. And oh, by the way, now that I have it to you and I have your info, and let me also show you these other awesome kind of resources that we have, such as a Facebook group that we have. Get in and
And now I'm they interact with me through Facebook Messenger. I get messages now and then. I get notifications from the group, and now I've become kind of integrated into this ecosystem where the next time they have some sort of content that comes out, I receive it. And they're really just trying to build an ecosystem. I'm not really quite sure what the conversion point is yet, in terms of a transaction, but
we'll wait for it.
It was just very, very. It's an elegant system that they've set up that really captures you across the entire.
They're warming you up,
right?
I mean, they're warming you up. So let's think about it from their perspective, okay? So let's just say you saw a social post, you wanted this resource, so you clicked on the social post. They got through a chatbot, they got your email. And they got you the resource, right? Now, in their system, you are this email address, you are this first name, this last name. They know that you have Facebook Messenger. They know your email address. So from that, they can pull all your social profiles. So they know all that about. They know what resource you downloaded, right? So now what they can do is put you in like a list, right? Put you on a list that they have that says, here's everyone who downloaded this resource. Now, when they come out with another resource that is relevant to that one, or maybe it's a paid resource, or maybe it's not. Now, what are they going to do? They have all these people on this list automatically, right? Automatedly, through marketing automation, quote unquote, they can easily get that list of people that they know is highly interested in this particular topic, and then you're more likely to buy. The conversion rate on that is way higher than if they were to just put it out thin air. You've already engaged.
And there's something you touched on that's a very important part of the MA process that's kind of on the back end, but they may be using some sort of lead scoring technology where they can see that I've interacted, when each time I interact, it might tick me up a point, and so they can then segment their list by that lead score. So if they put on some sort of like a conference or something that they're going to charge for, they could customize the messaging by the different segment of people who have interacted, rather than just somebody who's interacted once and got the resource versus who's interacted, joined the Facebook group, who's been to their site, interacted on LinkedIn,
it's like
XYZ. It's
all these touch points. It's game over. That person is hot. Right. Can we actually talk about lead scoring a little bit more? Because I know our audience is not just B2C. We have, I'm sure there's a lot of B2B directors of marketing, CMOs, VPs out there. This is definitely a sore point. I know it's a sore point because I hear it from our clients. I see it in their businesses. I swear it has to do with lead scoring and marketing automation. The connection between marketing department and the sales department.
Sure.
Okay, so now we're in a B2B world. We're doing marketing for lead gen, not e-commerce. We're not making the sale right then and there. And we're getting all these leads. What happens? Sales sees these leads come in, they start working them, and they're like, these leads suck, marketing, you suck, whatever, right? Sure. There's this battle, and they're fist fighting and whatever, exaggerating to make the point. So how does lead scoring help with that?
So lead scoring basically just means within your CRM, you have a way to basically quantify interactions between your CRM entry, the lead, the prospect, and actions they've taken with your tracked properties. So it's, if you send them an email and they open the email, that could be 1 point. If they open your email and then click through, that could be 5 points. If they go, download something from your site, you could have that marked as, 10 points. Right. It's really arbitrary, the points, but you want to have some sort of, related hierarchical system.
Yeah, there's some system to it. I mean, and that's where the human comes in, is to come up with that system. It's like, look, if they download, you got to know the business and understand.
Right, and this comes with the design of the funnel.
That's correct.
But as you go through this process, you can basically say, as that score gets higher and higher, maybe there's a threshold, you set where
they need 80 points before the salespeople even see them in their queue, for example.
Or, based on, a scale, they, go from 0 is cold to, 100 is red hot, or whatever that scale is. Exactly. And so, but the thing to remember is that this can't really happen in a vacuum. If you simply have, a lead collection form where you're just, running PPC to a landing page and then collecting that information, that's not going to be very useful. You need to, it really works more so as a whole, holistic strategy where you have, people downloading something, you're going to remarket them through email once they are a lead, so that you can kind of track that. Otherwise, you're going to have, you're not going to have very many touch points. It really works when you have a very robust ecosystem of touch points in which to really
it's a lot of touch points, and then also the kind of, the marketing strategist to kind of engineer or architect that that marketing automation plan. Like, how many points is it going to be, and then what do the workflows look like? Like, if they take this action, if they click on this email, let's say we send them an email and they do nothing with it. Okay, then maybe we send them a follow-up email. Sure. Let's say we send them that same email and they actually click. Maybe we put them over here in this workflow pattern. That architecture is where you leverage a someone who's implemented marketing automation technologies before.
And that's really where the marketing.
That's really where the fun is, right?
MarTech, that's really where marketing meets kind of more of the hard sciences of statistics and analysis and quantitative analysis.
And technology. You got to know what's possible. You have to know what's trackable. You need to know how to track things. Right?
Absolutely.
So, sorry to cut you off.
No worries. But you just need to be able to. That's where the intersection, like we're saying, marketing and technology, you can say from the past we had 1,000 leads, and we can see that many of them, a statistically significant amount of them, interacted with us this many times, and so that way we can then understand that's what it takes to get a quality lead. And without data, you can't really do that. You can set something up and kind of make some educated guesses in the beginning, but then it really takes kind of that that trackable analytical view to really kind of refine that and drill that down.
So basically, marketing automation is not necessarily a huge platform or a huge expensive platform that you buy it, you install it on your site, and then you press go. Right? It doesn't just work that way. It's also not always just like a huge platform. It can also be
you don't have
small.
to be on Adobe's entire enterprise platform that does the entire.
Unless you just have unlimited money and you can spend it for some reason.
If you're in a huge enterprise, that makes sense. But for
lots of touch points and different audiences and what
you can easily implement this as a small to medium sized enterprise.
Small to medium sized business.
It makes sense, and the ROI when implemented kind of in a holistic manner is really pretty instantaneous, I've seen, and I mean, that's what we do a lot.
Give me one example. No client names, obviously. Well, give me an example, like where you see that kind of instant gratification or instant ROI. Right?
Sure. So, as I said at the beginning, we work a lot with e-commerce clients, and so, with one of them lately, we integrated a email system called Klaviyo with a pop-up system called Privy, and basically we are able to customize that user experience when they come to the site from some sort of paid channel. We are able to match the on-page experience with the experience they saw in the ad to kind of contribute to that scent trail, provide them with any kind of incentive or offer that we offer them within the ad. From there, we collect their information, goes to email marketing. When they get an email, if it has a offer or if it has whatever the content is, we're able to then tie that content back to the on-page experience using the user's name, using the offer. In totally different ways.
This product. What about abandoned cart? That's my favorite. Right?
Oh yeah, abandoned cart. If you don't have an abandoned cart, flow coming through your site, you're probably just leaving conservatively between 5 and 10% of your gross revenue just on the table. Right. Basically, by having an abandoned cart flow, for those who don't know, is basically you have a system that monitors your site. When somebody puts a item in a cart, you have their email in your site already, or they start to put it in, but then they abandon the cart. You're able to then send them an email series with that specific product they were looking at, just to remind them. People get distracted for 100 different reasons. It could be, the dad at home, the baby starts crying, he puts down the iPad to go, change them or something like that. And when he gets back, football's on,
whatever.
All he needs is that one little email, just to not to push him to do anything, just like the reminder that he was in the middle of doing something and come back. And it's very succccessful. You can do the same thing with browse abandonment. We find a lot with lead magnet offers. So just kind of an intro offer to your users if they come to the site, give them a couple % off to give them your information, so you can communicate with them one-to-one. If you're not doing that, that's altogether you can
there's so many
15%.
Right. There's so many so many tactics. I know for us, like there's so many kind of tactics that we that we implement kind of out of the box. I mean, I know for example, like when we look at a client, if they're not doing retargeting or remarketing, that's like the first thing we turn on for them, right? Now in the MA space, marketing automation space, it's very similar, where we have like these top 10 or top however many tactics. So browser abandonment, cart abandonment, right? Lead scoring, those are on the top 3 workflows. Sure. Any others come to mind for you?
Not off the top, but when you said you're talking about retargeting and all,
do we have any written down
in your marketing?
I'll look here.
This is something that some people, when they're not super familiar with marketing or retargeting, kind of are a little bit iffy about. But the one thing that I would say for business owners or C-suite executives is you need to be having some sort of email collection on your site. It doesn't have to be just join our email list for updates. You can give them some sort of benefit. It could be an ebook in return. It can be transactional, but whereas with retargeting, it's kind of cooking or pixeling your users to hit them with display ads or RLSA ads. In the MA world, it really comes down to that email. If you can communicate with someone one-to-one, kind of you have a direct line into their their psyche and their mind through their email inbox. That's kind of the basis to MA, and from there, most things kind of spring from that in terms of like the real ROI driving activities.
I agree wholeheartedly with the email portion of it. I would also say that marketing automation systems, when implemented properly, can also deliver an experience, a personalized experience on your website, and you don't even have to have their email for that, right? So for instance, if I see someone come in to my website from like a ad or they land, let's say they land on my careers page, okay? If the first time this visitor comes to my careers page, I can pretty with high level of confidence say that this is a job seeker, right? So now what I can do is when they go to the rest of my site and they're looking around and seeing my service pages and what have you, my call to action, my hello bar or my slide in or what have you, instead of it being download this resource on why we're the best agency or whatever, it'll say instead download this or check out this page to learn about our culture, our values, our benefits.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I didn't even have to have their email for that. But what I did is I inferred based on their browsing activity. So marketing automation is super powerful.
Yep.
There's so much you can do with it, and that's why I brought you here, EJ. I appreciate your time. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or you want to just leave it here and we'll do another episode sometime?
No, I'll leave it here. We'll do another episode soon. But
I'm sure we will.
I appreciate your time and the opportunity to come on and speak with you about this. This is kind of the stuff that I find very exciting, and it's really the future. It's really people really want that personal experience, and this is how you deliver it. It's not nearly as complicated as some people may think.
Maybe not for you because you do it all the time. It's definitely harder than it looks. But yeah, so. In closing, marketing automation doesn't have to be this huge thing. It can be as simple as just like a pop-up based on, the user's activity. But it can get very complicated very quickly. With hard work comes, big rewards. And that's what we see in marketing automation. So thank you, EJ, for your time.
Thank
you for your time, listeners out there. Do me a favor and subscribe. More Than Marketing, we're trying to stay on the bleeding edge for you, hopefully adding some value out there.
Let us know what you think about what we talked about today. If you have
what you want to hear more about.
Yeah, what you want to hear more about. If you guys have any marketing automation hacks, put them down below.
Yeah. And if you liked EJ, let him know, and we'll bring him back. If not, he's not coming back ever. Cheers. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.